Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we're going to be going over the latest episode of Raising Kanan, Season 1, Episode number 7, called Stay in Your Lane, okay? Which is exactly what Kanan needed to do. Alright, so let's get into it guys. The episode starts off with Rock coming out of the hospital. And she's looking mighty cute and sexy, guys, okay, to be coming out of a hospital. But then we find out that she's going to meet up with Kanan to have dinner with Davina. So when Rock's car pulls up, Kanan opens the door for her, and he wants to know how Scrap is doing. Rock lets Kanan know that Scrap lost an eye and a kidney, but he'll be all right. So I wasn't surprised at all to hear that Scrap survived this, guys. I did see him, blink his eye or move his eye in last week's episode. I was just hoping that he would survive, okay? So Kanan then lets his mom know that he feels bad about what he was saying about Scrap, accusing him of being behind the stash house robbery and all that stuff. So I was definitely glad to hear Kanan say this because in last week's episode, I did mention the expression on Kanan's face when he saw Scrap laid out like that. And I was wondering what his thoughts were and if he felt bad for accusing Scrap of being suspect. So it was confirmed in this scene, and Kanan definitely sees that he was wrong. But of course, he is not about to turn his attention towards Davina, guys, okay? He is not about to think that she had anything to do with it. Absolutely not, all right? His nose is too wide open for that. Anyway, Rock tells Kanan that he doesn't need to worry about Scrap because at this point, Kanan is so remorseful that he feels wrong to be having dinner with his mom and Davina. So that's when Rock tells him that life must go on and it can't stop for no one. Not even Scrap, right? So she tells Kanan that Scrap is a battle-tested soldier. So he knows what comes with the game, right? And that also makes me wonder what kind of history Scrap has with this family. What test did he pass that makes them not question his loyalty? All right, that's something to definitely think about for me, and I hope that it's revealed. Anyway, Rock and Kanan go inside and Rock meets Davina. And it was a very polite greeting, okay? So then they sit down and Kanan pulls out the chair for his mom, which was so sweet. Then he tells her that he knows she doesn't like surprises, but he has one for her anyway. Then we see Symphony coming up behind Rock, and she is not happy, okay? She was like, oh, heck no. Then she gets up to leave. So Kanan tries to go after his mom, but Symphony was like, it's okay, I got this. So when Symphony gets outside, he tells Rock about some corny band that he likes, right? And lets her know that he's never told anyone this before. So it was just his way of letting Rock know that he will not be keeping any more secrets from her ever again, right? And that he's sorry for getting in between her and her son. So Rock forgives him and they go back inside with Kanan and Davina. And we see Kanan getting some tips from Symphony, okay? Because he took hold of Davina's hand after he saw Symphony gently grab a hold of his mom's hand and tell her that she was beautiful. So, the night goes well, guys. And then when they go outside, Symphony goes into teaching mode, okay? Class is in session. And he tells them that the building across the street was where John Lennon was assassinated. He added some more stuff too, though, but that was the one that stood out to me. All right, so then when it's time to go, Kanan tells Rock and Symphony to go on ahead and do whatever old people do. They was joking and all that stuff. And him and Davina will get home on their own. Of course, by way of a driver, not really on their own. All right, so Rock tells Kanan that she's a young mother, okay? Don't make me a grandmother. So, meanwhile, as all of this is going on, Marvin's crew is doing their thing by the highway. And it looks like they got a smooth operation going, right, guys? And I wanted to be proud of Marvin, but I knew the screw up was just around the corner. So, while Marvin has his crew working the highway, I did jump around a little bit, guys, before all this stuff was going on with Rock and Davina and Symphony and all of them. We got Lulu in a ski mask ready to hit Worrell. Okay, so Lulu done found his way into Worrell's crib or his girl's crib. I don't know whose it was. And while he's busy eating a cookie, talking about Worrell, okay, he was going downtown. All right, so Lou is creeping down the hall, and before he takes a shot, the chick opens her eyes and sees Lou and starts screaming. So, of course, this alerts Worrell. And when Lou finally starts blasting, he misses, guys. And by this time, Worrell is able to get his gun and start shooting back. So long story short, guys, Lulu retreats and reloads, right? But when he comes back into the room, Worrell is gone, okay? He done escaped through the window, guys. And the next thing you know, we see Worrell running down the freaking street with nothing but his robe on. So Lulu has failed at this hit, okay? And Lulu was the guy that was introduced to us as the one that Rock calls to get things done right, okay? And this time it did not happen. So I'm starting to think that now that Lulu wants to be in the music business, his head is not really in the game right now. So it might be causing him to slip, you know? And that's probably why he wasn't able to be successful with pulling off this hit, which seemed pretty easy to me, okay? Warrell was the easy target, you know. I really didn't see the problem. And I don't know, at one point I was thinking maybe he didn't want to shoot the girl, but when he started shooting, he was just spraying and it really didn't look like he cared who got hit, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a Marvin type of move at this point, guys, and that's really all I could say. You know, that's my opinion. He really screwed up. Okay. Next, when Kanan walks Davina to her door, she seems bothered by something, and she tells him that she heard Famous's song, and the lyrics sound like Famous was there when Buck got shot. So Kanan tells Davina that it's just a song and Famous ain't in that life. And Davina says, yeah, but you are. All right. Then she goes inside and closes the door. So she seems pretty upset with Kanan now, and I really wish Kanan would just leave this girl alone, okay? Because she is still not over Buck 20. You know, like he needs to give her some real time to properly mourn this kid, right? Because I just feel like if she finds out the truth, Kanan is going to have way bigger problems. Okay. Next, you already know that Rock and Symphony wasted no time getting it in, guys. Okay. But as they're about to do their thing, Rock is trying to bully the process. Okay. So Symphony tells her to slow down and that she doesn't have to control everything. So, guys, I was happy to hear him tell her this because it just confirmed what I said about Rock for last week's episode. I said that I was seeing that she's controlling. So Symphony telling her this lets me know that I didn't misinterpret her behavior, all right? So anyway, Symphony takes over, right? And we have more cookie eating going on, guys, okay? Let's move on. Next, Rock, Marvin, and Lou are at Baisley Apartments, and they're pretty much discussing how the heck Lulu missed his target. So Marvin said maybe you had your eyes closed or something, because how you miss a Negro in his bedroom? And Lulu was like, I never miss. And he pretty much blames it on the gun. So Rock was like, maybe you should have used a different gun, okay? So Marvin tells Lulu that maybe he wouldn't have missed if he wasn't trying to be a bootleg Russell Simmons. And I agree, guys, only because, as I already said, I'm starting to think that this music thing is clouding Lulu's judgment, right? And his headspace. All right, we're going to talk about that some more a little later, okay? Anyway, they start talking about the corners, and since they're low on supply, things aren't looking too good, guys, all right? And the corners are struggling. Plus, Marvin says that the crackheads know that their product is mad stepped on. So now the crackheads are copping from Neek, right? Then Lulu says, I heard Neek is expanding his shipment near the highway now, and he got a whole gas station crew. So, of course, that's all Marvin, right, guys? And he was acting like he didn't know what the heck Lulu was talking about. Anyway, the only part that confused me here, guys, was why was Marvin's crew assumed to be Neek's boys? I don't know. Maybe the person giving Lulu this information is just a person who doesn't know the difference, you know, but I ain't gonna dwell on that, but that was just a little confusing to me. All right, let's move on. So Rock tells them that she's meeting up with a possible connect tonight and Lou is coming with her. And Lulu did not look happy about this at all, okay? He looked like he wanted to say, why can't you take Marvin? Anybody but me, right? And Marvin would love to go because he keeps asking Rock for more opportunities, but she's keeping him out of the game. Next, Juke is in Lord and Taylor's and she's trying on some dresses because Nicole has a ball that she wants Juke to come to. Nicole tells Juke that she has to wear a dress, but as Juke tries on the dresses, it's just not her, so she has other plans. Next, Kanan confronts Famous about his lyrics to Streets Need a Body, and the conversation wasn't satisfying to me, guys, but I'm glad that they at least addressed it, you know? So Kanan tells Famous that Davina heard the lyrics, and he says, I told you the song was going to be a problem. So Famous says, okay, just tell her I'm an artist and I'm painting a picture of the world we living in, you know? And honestly, that's the normal stuff that rappers be saying when they're being questioned about their lyrics of criminal nature, you know? So Kanan says, if you want to tell stories, Famous, tell stories, just don't tell my stuff. And, you know, they laugh together and they hug it out. So I'm glad that they weren't fighting over it or nothing like that, but I did want the conversation to be a little different, I guess. I don't really know what I was expecting, all right? But I do really like Famous, you know, but I'm scared for him, guys. Next, Kanan shows up to a stash house where two of Marvin's boys are waiting for him before they make any moves. So Kanan starts trying to act like he's the boss and tells the guys that they need to stretch the product they have. So one of the guys pulls out some stuff called Cinder Williams that he got from East New York, which is claimed to have fiends lined up around the block. So Kanan was like, sounds good to me, let's cook. So one of the guys was like, I ain't doing nothing until Marvin okays it. All right. So, and this guy's name is Little Rob. Okay. So, Kanan, who needs to stay in his lane, right? Title of the episode, he says, if I'm cool, Marvin cool. Right. So, Little Rob tells Kanan that he ain't calling no shots. You just a young high school ninja. So, Kanan says to Little Rob, do you know who I am? What I do? I'm the one who came up with this idea. You here because of me. Then he tells both the guys that he's cooking. And so it begins, guys. Next, Rock goes to the bodega and Juliana gives her the information of where her cousin wants to meet. So Juliana says to Rock, you said you picked me because you knew who my cousin was. Well, I picked you too because you're a woman and you know how these men treat us and how they hate us. So Rock says to Juliana, you're helping me. You let me know when I can help you. So I could see this request going one or two ways, guys. Gabriel beats Juliana so bad that she can't take it anymore and asks Rock to kill him. Or Juliana kills Gabriel herself and asks Rock to get rid of the body. Next, Juke stops by Kanan's house to ask if she can get dressed there for Nicole's ball because she doesn't want Marvin to see her. So as they're talking, Detective Howard pulls up and Kanan had one of the laced crack vials in his hand. So he passed it off to Juke since she was about to leave the scene. So Detective Howard tells Kanan that he just wanted to check on him. But Kanan tells Detective Howard that his mom doesn't want him messing with them. So Howard says, did you ask your mom about me yet? Because we go way back and got a lot of shared history. So, of course, if I'm in Kanan's shoes, this would make me feel uncomfortable. I feel like it would make anybody uncomfortable, right? Because it's obviously something that you want to tell me. Like, that's how I would be feeling. Anyway, so Detective Howard says, I was just checking on you. And Kanan says, I'm good. I don't need you to be checking up on me. So before he leaves, Detective Howard says, one last time, ask your mom about me. You might be surprised about what you'll find out. So the whole time they were talking, Detective Burke was waiting in the car. And when Howard got back inside, she says, what is with you and this kid? So Detective Howard was like, the kids are our future, Burke. But judging from last week's episode, when Rock told Burke to give Howard that message, I don't think it would be hard for Burke to figure things out eventually. Next, Marvin's crew hands out testers to the fiends, and they are lethal, guys. Okay, I'm talking about as soon as they smoke it, 5 seconds later, heart stops. Just freaking crazy, okay? Next, Juke meets up with Nicole, and they're walking in some park, right? So while Juke goes to buy them some pretzels, Nicole puts a card in Juke's book bag, but she also finds the laced vial of crack in Juke's bag and decides to freaking take it, guys. Like, what would make her think it's okay to steal something out of Juke's bag? Anyway, when this happened, guys, I was like, oh no, please do not tell me that this girl is about to die. Next, Marvin pulls up to Kanan's house and tells him to get in the car. So Kanan was looking at his uncle like, what? I ain't got time for this. What's the word? So Marvin was like, just get in the car. And you could see on Marvin's face that he was pissed, right? And Kanan saw that Marvin was not in the mood either. And so he got in the car, right? But Marvin was so pissed that he pulled off before Kanan could even get all the way in. Like, he just probably wanted to drag him any way he could at that point. And I wish he would have. Anyway, so they get to the crack house where they see all the damage that this Cinder Williams thing has done, right? Crackheads dead all over the place. So Marvin wants to know what the heck happened, and he's chewing Kanan and Little Rob out in the process. He tells them that this is why you don't send ducks to Eagle School, and they are definitely ducks. So when Marvin says it's dang near impossible to kill someone with crack, Lil Rob tells Marvin exactly what happens and lets him know that Kanan did the cooking. So Rock teaching her son to cook already done brought about some problems, okay? Anyway, Marvin tells Lil Rob and Kanan that they need to shut down Van Wyck and burn whatever is left of the blue caps, and also not to say a word to nobody. So when Kanan asks Marvin if they're not even going to tell his mom, Marvin was like, are you out of your freaking mind? We're definitely not going to do that. We don't ever tell her that. because if we do, there'd be two more dead bodies, me and you. But I would like to definitely hope and think that Marvin is over exaggerating about Rock killing her own son, okay? Anyway, guys, after watching the episode again, I realized that Kanan screwed up the batch because I didn't really catch it that last time. He added too much, okay? Because the dude did mention that he went heavy on the Cinder Williams when he was cooking, and Kanan was like, I made it more better with his little stupid, but he's just such a freaking dummy, yo. I just want to punch his face sometimes. Next, Rock meets up with her possible supplier, Joaquin, at a boxing match, right? So Lulu was just sitting back there looking bored out of his mind, guys, right? But all of a sudden, Joaquin's man says to Lulu, I like the song. I was at the showcase. My brother works in Latin music for BMG, and he took me along. Then he starts freaking spitting the lyrics, guys, and I was cracking up, all right? Because as tense as this episode was to me, there were some funny moments, and I appreciated that, right? Honestly, this was the funniest part, and I could not believe that he just came out like that. He was like, when I pull up on your block, streets need a body. When I slide over your spot, streets need a body. Like, I was cracking up. Anyway, so this definitely made Lulu smile. He had Lulu back there feeling like the man, guys, all right? Anyway, the deal wasn't a definite. And Joaquin let Rock know that it was a good conversation and they'll talk again soon. Because Rock definitely was trying to rush into it. You know what I'm saying? Talking about some let's talk numbers then. After Joaquin told her that Juliana vouched for her. So even though I understand Rock's sense of urgency, her pushiness just ain't gonna work for everybody, you know? This dude, Joaquin, he seems to be more careful, and he already told Rock that the South Side is a competitive market. So it's not looking too promising right now, guys, but we will see. Next, Rock apologizes to Symphony and tells him that she overreacted about the situation with him and Kanan. So I was definitely glad that she did this because a lot of us thought she overreacted, right? So in this scene, she's telling Symphony all the things that I thought she should have said in the first place. She tells him that she's grateful that Kanan had Symphony to call and that she's glad Kanan trusts him. She then tells Symphony that he would make a great father someday, then asks if he wanted a kid. So Symphony seemed a little uneasy and caught off guard about the question, but he tells Rock that it depends on who the mother is. So Rock was like, what if it was me? And Symphony says, maybe that could work. So Rock's point to this conversation was that she wanted Symphony to know that she's not going to always be the person she is now. She ain't leaving the business no time soon or nothing like that, because she has some things to put in order, but she won't always be this person. And I like seeing this side of Rock, guys, because it shows her redeeming quality. Next, Lou goes to Lamont's to pick up his club sandwich, and Neek and Worrell come in while he's at the counter. Lou reminds Neek that Lamont's Diner is a demilitarized zone, okay? DMZ, and nobody gets hurt in Lamont's Diner. So Neek tells Lou that ain't nobody getting hurt. He just wants to chop it up. So they go and sit down, and Neek tells Luke that Rock is going to fall. She lost the connect, she's losing corners, and her soldiers are looking for other crews. So Lulu was not trying to sit here and hear all that, okay? He's like, can I eat my sandwich or what? It's getting soggy. So, of course, Neek was like, go ahead, eat. Then he tells Lou that he's given Rock a couple of months before he mops her up and whoever is still standing with her. So Lulu is not having it, okay? And he tells Neek that he don't want to work with no BA ninja like him and Cookie Eater over here. And of course he didn't say Cookie, okay? So Worrell immediately grabs his gun and was like, yo, that was you? So Neek had to quickly reach his hand out to stop Worrell. Like, chill, boy. So Lou gets ready to leave, and Neek tells Lou that he appreciates him taking the time out to talk to him. Then he tells Lou that he wants to say sorry now for what's going to happen later. So all Lou says is, thanks for the sandwich. So this goes back to what I said earlier about Lulu being too consumed with the music business that it's clouding his judgment, all right? Because why would he let Worrell know that it was him that tried to kill him the other night? Like, it was just not smart. And I really hope he gets to Worrell before Worrell gets to him. And as far as Neek trying to get Lou to flip, I'm just looking at it like this. he figured if Lulu had the nerve to come ask him for a favor, then he might as well have the audacity to ask him to flip sides, right? You know, it's all just crazy right now, guys, and I just feel the intensity building up with each episode that is. Okay, so anyway, next, Juke gets ready at Kanan's house and she's wearing a suit. Okay, she didn't get no daggone dress. She's wearing a suit. Okay, so Rock comes into Kanan's room and she asks where Juke was going, and Juke lets her know that she's going to a ball with a girl. So Rock lets Juke know that Nicole is a lucky girl, and Juke relaxed her shoulders after her aunt said this, okay, because she was hella tense. But at least she was honest with Rock, you know. Then Rock tells her that she ain't Marvin and that she wants Juke to be happy, right? She said, I want you to be you. And I like the relationship that Rock and Juke have, but I don't like how Rock be saying slick stuff about Marvin to his daughter. I mentioned this in another video before. I do not like that. You know, I feel like you don't have to put down Marvin for Juke to see that you're more understanding than he is, you know? You still supposed to advocate for respect, for any kid to respect their parent. You don't go around talking trash and belittling the guy, you know, so the daughter don't really have no respect for him like that. I just don't like it at all, okay? I also feel that it makes Juke grow further apart from him. All right. Anyway, next, Nicole is getting ready for the ball, and her mom is trying to force her to come out of her room and take pictures with her date. So Nicole locks herself in her room, and she's listening to a cover song Juke recorded for her, and decides to find that laced vial she took, and she smokes it, guys. So, like I said, it was like 5 seconds, and this girl stood up and dropped dead. And of course, it was just really sad, guys, especially while we hear Juke's voice just singing away, right? Next, Kanan sits on his couch watching TV, and he's so bothered by this Cinda Williams situation. So Rock sits next to him, and you could see that he's a little nervous because at this point, you know, sometimes Kanan, he doesn't know what his mom knows, you know, and how she be finding stuff out, but she be finding stuff out. So when she approaches him, he's a little nervous, like, what the heck does she know, you know? So Rock sits next to him and she starts asking him where he got the money to pay for dinner the other night. And he was doing a horrible job at lying, right, guys? So he changed the subject, which was the smartest thing he's done since the season started, okay? He changes the subject and tells her that Detective Howard came around telling him that Kanan needs to ask her about something. So the reason why I say changing the subject and bringing up Howard was the smartest thing Kanan's done is because now Rock doesn't care about where Kanan got that money to pay for dinner, all right? Because all she's worried about is Kanan staying away from Detective Howard. She also tells Kanan that cops are natural born liars and that he needs to head the other way the next time he sees Howard. But the way she's reacting looks like it got Kanan wondering if she's the one hiding something, you know? Anyway, we get to the last scene, and Juke is waiting for Nicole across the street from the ball, like they agreed. But of course, Nicole ain't showing up, and Juke gets stood up for good. Very sad, guys, and that's how the episode ended, okay? Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. That is all for today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. And also remember to catch me on Lamont's channel on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss this episode of Power. I do believe that's what we're going to be discussing. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, I'm going to be on the channel. All right, you guys take care and be blessed.